are told at every point in time that our program content should bring peace. We write jingles, we produce jingles, we talk about peace in Nigeria. If you listen to the radio, you hear they will tell you Nigeria are one. In Pidgin, in Hausa, in Igbo, in any language, it just tells you about the situation in the country. And when you say that there are youth who can cause revolution in this country, you need to understand where the country started from. And that's why I'm just going to do a very easy task. I'm not coming here to preach to you. God hasn't called me yet. The day He calls me, I'll answer the call. But I just want to talk to you. As a broadcaster, I want to tell you about the history of this country, so that when somebody tells you to believe in Nigeria, you will know where the person is coming from. Are we together? It's a pity because I stand there before you every Monday on radio. This program called Know Your Country. It's a 15-minute program where I talk about the love for Nigeria, patriotism. I tell you, the most difficult thing to sell is Nigeria because of how it is. If people come here and push you and tell you love this country, even the person that is telling you knows it's difficult. Or you don't have a choice. You just have to love Nigeria. This is our land, Nigeria. And we don't have any other land. So the things around us cannot deter us from the love we need to have for this country. Let me just take you a bit down history lane so that you understand where we are and how we got to where we are today. In 1900, there was the annexation of Lagos. The British came into Nigeria. When they came, there was nothing like Nigeria. Now, their intent was simple. There has been an industrial revolution in Europe, where the resources needed to prosecute that industrial revolution will be found in the third world. Nigeria was one of them. And so when they came, it was not the so-called civilization they came with. It was purely to meet their economic need. And so, greed was the underlying factor. And they came in 1900, annexed Lagos. By 1914, some of you know about the popular amalgamation. Am I sure? Yes, the amalgamation. Why was Nigeria amalgamated? When Sir Frederick Lord Lugard was ruling the country, he had told the crown, the Queen of England, the crown colony, that the problem he had was that southern Nigeria could sustain itself. Northern Nigeria could not sustain itself. So he needed money from the British government to run the northern Nigeria. And the British government said clearly, we cannot do that. Look for a way. And one of the ways was to bring the two together so that the resources of the southern Nigeria can be used to sustain northern Nigeria. That was the genesis of the forced marriage. You don't force people to get married. In the United States of America, there are 50 states. When you hear them talk about the State of the Union, they came together, sat down, and agreed to come as one. But ours was a marriage of convenience. And so in 1914, that amalgamation took place. From 1914, we struggled for what Nigeria was looking at, integration. Awolowo had said that Nigeria is a mere geographical representation and not a united state. That confronted us. And so when our politicians began to come up in terms of the education they were getting, they came up as nationalists. The problem for them was gaining independence. Now, for some of you, you just hear October 1st is when Nigeria gained independence. Yes, formally, that's when Nigeria gained independence. But independence came differently. In 1957, and I want to prosecute you, people in Delta State will get up and say it is marginalization. That's why, even when Alamesia took money abroad, his people said he has done nothing wrong because Nigeria's money belongs to everybody. The concept is when you steal from government, you have stolen from nobody. But when you steal from the local shrine in the village, it has a way of punishing you instantly. So tell me how many people steal from their villages. That tells you that we are battling local nationalism. And that's the kind of country we have found ourselves. And so even by 1967, the Civil War we fought for 3 years, did not solve the problem. And we have been battling towards integration. The question now is, as youths of today, would we tie ourselves to history? Because if we tie ourselves to history, we'll still be where we are. The revolution must come from inside. It's not a question of how the country looks like. I'm telling you the truth. I can't come here. When I go on radio and I talk to people about Nigeria, I tell them that this is the land of our dream. It's not the land you are seeing. It's the one of our dream. What you have pictured in your mind to achieve. That's the kind of country we have found ourselves. Where it is difficult. How do you explain? You graduated. Then it was fashionable. When you graduate, you were struggling. Maybe you just know that the moment you graduate, you get a job. Then it passed that level to what you graduated with. So, oh, if you have a 2-1, you're guaranteed a good job. Now it has moved to first class. Now it has moved to masters. Now we don't even know what you need to study. This is a country that has changed medical doctors to people selling rat poison. And somebody tells you to believe in Nigeria. You need to believe in the dream, the Nigeria of your dream. I tell people, what captures the true picture of Nigeria is what most people do not even know. The national anthem. In that national anthem embeds the new Nigeria.
Hallelujah.
I always tell people, it's just the national anthem. Have you sat down one day to look at the words of the national anthem? I don't know how they conceived that. The man who wrote that national anthem, his family, they're not supposed to be poor for life. Because that is the word that we need. Arise, my compatriot. This country calls you to obey, irrespective of what is happening. And it doesn't go. You know, the second stanza, I don't know, God just inspired him to write. And he said, "Oh God of our creation." I don't know if you have the words of the national anthem. You don't have it. You would have seen it. "Oh God of our creation, direct us, not to any cost, a noble cause. Guide who? Not only us, our youth, our leaders, right? Help our youth to know the truth." And how would they know this truth? In love and honesty, we can grow. How many people are honest in Nigeria? In love and honesty, we can grow. I wish I had the words of the national anthem. I would have taken time to analyze it. If we ask people to sing the national anthem, sometimes you don't see the passion. Have you seen an American singing the national anthem? That's where the passion starts from. That's where the passion starts from. Oh God of our creation, direct us through a noble cause. Great lofty heights we can attain in a nation where peace and justice can reign. That is the vision of Nigeria. It lies in the national anthem. And I tell you, if only the words of the national anthem can inspire you, you can achieve what you want to achieve. How many of you have role models? If I ask you a role model, who said, this thing is becoming funny. Then Hillary Clinton lacked words to match him during the campaign. And she started saying that words were cheap. And the man was gathering momentum. And on that fateful day of November 4, Americans overwhelmingly voted the first black American president. And Jesse Jackson cried on that day because he saw it when Martin Luther King was shot. He was standing by his side. And you know, when Barack Obama won the presidency of America, he said, if there is anyone who still doubts if America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dreams of our founding fathers is alive in our time, who still question the power of democracy, tonight is your answer. What have you found as your answer? Thank you very much.